This is my book written 3-4 years ago, but not only in not in English, but Japanese. So you can understand. You cannot understand. But if you want something more deeply, please read. Try to read this one. And first of all, I introduce my first slide. I'm a researcher of theater design and architecture planning. Today, I want to talk about the transformation, designing of opposite factor in a theater. As a first slide, I want to start from the Yoyogi National Stadium in Tokyo, designed by Kenzo Tange, perhaps you know, in 1964. I was so moved when I walked inside. That was another world. Unfortunately, we can no longer see such scene because it is become gymnasium now, not a pool, not a swimming pool. And Professor Tsuboi was a pioneer of modern structural engineer, structural designer in architecture, and he was a charge in this project, in this structure. And I like his following words. This words, a structure's beauty can be found near its rationality. He did not say a structure's beauty can be found in its rationality. It is very impressive for me how near we don't know, but not directly rationality. And next slide, I want to show another example. This is Chion in Miedo, National Treasure in Kyoto, and under dismantling and repair. When we visit traditional architecture, we are impressed by the splendor of its design. You will hear an explanation of how it is made based on rational thinking. However, it was very surprised when I saw this demolition site. It is not rational at all. You see here, these things, these huge wooden structure and number of these log, and it's very difficult solution to make a big roof and long eaves, which are never seen from the outside. Of course, the structure plan is reasonably thought out. There is a human will, and it shows something what is entrusted to architecture. Architecture is social existence, so it is need to be accepted by people. We have to think rational, but it is not enough. We cannot explain on architecture not only by rationality. And then next slide. On the other hand, a theater has various mixed contradictions. If you wish for a high flexibility, you will have more work to do. And if you want to have good sight line to the stage, like this, from any seat, you can place seat only in front of the stage, not on side. However, that makes no feeling for the performers to feel like they are surrounded by the audience. And there is no interaction between the audience. And this is a Arts Center, Arts Theater, which I collaborate in 1922 with a competition. And in this design, we discuss very deeply this side of balcony seating. This seating nearest to the stage, almost 19 degrees from the curtain line, from the edge of stage. So if you sit here, you see another opposite side of stage, opposite side of seating. If you want to see the stage, you have to how to say that 19 degree your eye turn, and artistic direction of the stage requires effects which may sometimes explore the actors and engineer to danger. On the other hand, an ordinary direction is boring. Designing and responsible for the reconciling these opposing requests. Why does the opera house have so huge backyard behind the big stage? This is Berlin, Deutsche Oper Berlin, where I study. Because they present different performance every day. In addition to make a new several opera production, and also some number of ballet production in a year. So they have to have huge workshop space to make scenery by metal, by wood, by chemical materials and costumes and various clothes, etc. And also huge storage for stage set and costumes. If you see here, the stage is only here and the auditorium for the audience is only this part. And behind of the stage, there are so many huge, there is a workshops, paint shops again, and down here, a carpenter shop or metal shop. And on the stage level, there is a decor storage all over here. And top of here, workshop for dressings, and so many workshops or storage behind of the stage area. And on stage, they rehearse a new production in the morning and perform a repertory production in the evening. So there are two shifts in a day, morning shift and evening shift, especially for technical persons. And this is a outside view from that time. Now this building was renovated, and they are totally different. Now this part, all the paint shop become to ballet rehearsal rooms, 2 big rehearsal rooms. And this part underneath of paint shop and is a studio theater. And here is a cantina. Cantina is and do you know the cantina? It's a restaurant or coffee shop for the backyard people. But now there is a restaurant not only for the theater people who worked in the theater, but also the restaurant for the public. So totally different now. And this is a daily rehearsal and the performing. This is a rehearsal part from the 10 o'clock, from the early in the morning, they prepare to the rehearse, and 10 o'clock start to the rehearsal until 30 or 14th, and then disassemble and assembled again, assembled to the new to the evening production and perform in the evening, 8 o'clock in the evening, and so there is a two shift from this part and this part. Why the theater formal? Because everything is tentative. That's why it is the best way to build nothing, both the stage and the auditorium. This theater is the most symbolic of that. Schaubühne in Berlin. Very flexible, no stage, as you see here, no stage, no fixed seating, but hard work for technicians. You see here, this is renovated architecture, original architecture designed by Mendelssohn in 1928 as a cinema. And after Second War, this was totally destroyed, but they building again as original, but only outside, and inner space was totally renovated as a theater. Like this, and I told later this. This is us. This is outside view, and you see here the destroyed building. This. So then, now I will show you my survey. This is my first survey in the Tokyo Bunka Kaikan. I want to know how the stage is used in opera performance. At the time, there was a political challenge to build a new national opera house. And many opera productions were performed every year. And there were many prominent people who were active in abroad and in our country, such as singers, conductors, musicians, and directors. However, there was no basis in a government to specify the size and number of necessary rooms, such as the stage, rehearsal rooms, and dressing rooms, etc., and the opera theater. There is almost no evidence to require the Ministerium of Finance, which budgets. So first of all, I start to investigate the stage, orchestra pit, dressing rooms, etc. I did a lot of these research there and at the Nisei Theater too. And this is the first survey, and this is another survey. Of course, this is not only for me, but with the student together. And that is also survey in Nisei Theater in Tokyo. And I did continue, just a moment. Oh, this one. And I did continue a lot of such researches in Berlin like this. Opera is the most complex performing arts, but of course it is not enough. So I did some research in the theater as well. That is theater, and this is also one survey. And I also did a Schaubühne in Berlin. As I said before, this theater has no pre-made stage or audience seats and was designed based on the planning idea of creating each production. I experienced exciting rehearsals and performance under the director. And I learned the audience is also designed. So this is upper part of this picture. They made one performance named Negro as an auditorium seating. Underneath of this area was a stage as a farmer performance, Hamlets. So this is totally remake every time. The theater is not a place to enjoy alone. But a place to enjoy with other people. You are able to have fun because other people are having fun. That kind of mood is necessary in the theater. In order to ensure high acoustic performance, it is a functionally important design attitude to create tightly closed space. However, if you focus on that, you tend to lose the original fun space of the theater. This is a very famous picture by Renoir. The lady singing to the stage, but behind the gentleman singing not to stage, perhaps another box audience, like this. So this is another example, and Kabuki theater in the Edo period. I will talk about Kabuki later, and this is one festival, Kabuki festival, by people, by farmers. They made these structure, these roof structure by themselves. They played Kabuki theater by themselves, so they cannot watch as a audience. They only give a performance only 2 days, but they made such huge structure. It takes almost 5 months to build up this roof. And this is a old theater in Auditorium, and this right one is Alba Alto in Essen. And this is a very famous theater in Prague, which is where is premiere Don Giovanni by Mozart in 1787. Now I show you two theater architecture, Tokyo Bunka Kaikan and Nisei Theater in Tokyo, which I surveyed. These two theaters have completely different architecture vectors. However, they certainly led the theater world of Japan in the late 20th century. It was rather representing Japan from aspect of its activities and architecture value of those days. Many famous music and theater performance were born in these theaters, and theater people grown up. Kunio Maekawa designed Tokyo Bunka Kaikan as a city square in a large park based on the concept that a theater should exist as a place widely open to the public for interaction, as well as a place presenting art and culture event. What is remarkable in Nisei Theater by Togo Murano is the design of auditorium. The ceiling surface is undulating and studded with pearl oyster shells reflecting lights. The side walls are also undulating. They are studded randomly with finer mosaic tile made by glass and ceramics. The color changes to gold gradually as they go near to the opening side to the stage, which produce a very detective atmosphere. Through these, I became convinced that excellent theater architecture has a power and meaning of following listed here in this. I'd like to you keep these points in your mind. These 6 points. I cannot tell you now, but you can read them. This is another angle. This is a left side is Tokyo Bunka Kaikan foyer. And this is inside foyer, but the concept of Maekawa is a plaza, is open to the city, to the park. Left side, right side is Nisei Theater by Murano. So this is a very nice atmosphere in the theater. Now, I thought innovation does not come from experience and achievements. Experience and achievements necessary for theater design? Yes, experience is good and useful if you learn essence from that. But if you just learn the format or you have only meaningless experience, that could be only destroy new idea. You can learn also from Berliner Philharmonie, designed by Hans Shalom. We can learn if the Shalom's proposal was not selected in a competition in 1956, the history of the concert hall would have been different since then, I think. Many criticisms have been said about directional sound source, such as wind instrument or vocal music. So complicated access to the seat and foyer with many stairs against barrier-free access today. They have to use a lift when they transfer a piano to the stage. You can, so this, inside view. However, once you experience the space, everyone wants to talk about the excitement that goes beyond such criticism. It tells us that music is not made by performers or conductors, but with the audience. In fact, Karajan always went in and out between the stage and the audience. Karajan always come this corner, not from the backside. And so this is very low level, not just 10 centimeter gap between the auditorium floor and the stage floor. So he was in contact with the audience from same perspective. And this is a drawing by Hans Shalom right here. And in the center, there is a conductor. There is a stage here, but music made from not only the musician, but also by all people in this space. So he says music in the mitte means music in the center. This is today's lunchtime concert in foyer. This is free to come. So very good atmosphere to feel music. There's almost 200 seats in front of the stage. This is a stage, but many people sitting or standing surround this area. Sharon has never realized a theater or concert hall before. It was once selected as the best in the theater competition in Kassel. This is a Kassel competition's model. And proceeded just before the construction, but it was canceled due to the cost. These days in Japan, theater design competition are often only open to experienced or proven architects. But it is clear from Sharon's case that it doesn't make any sense. This is plan, Kassel's Staatstheater in 1954. Very, very charming architecture, good design, I think. Accordingly, theater in Japan tend to be stereotyped. Professional orchestra and citizens choir performed on the same stage and pay the same fee to use. That could be fair, or professionals are not esteemed. Even the National Theater for Kabuki, this is one, which was built in 1966, is such boring design. Outside view is here. Just inside and inside. And this is plan. Also, it is a traditional performing arts theater. It looks as an imitation of European theater design. It is not a self-confidence design. Moreover, the exterior is based on the motif or warehouse of Nara period. This one, Nara period in 8th centuries. Every region and every country has long cultivated performing arts. However, looking at the pictures or illustrations from the early days, it is clear that the stage form was not established from the beginning. You see here, this is one of the oldest picture on Kabuki theater. For instance, the Kabuki stage is very simple, as you see here. No proscenium, no roof for audience, no hanamichi. Hanamichi is one of the performing space in the auditorium. Just have a simple small stage in the outdoor. Although today's Kabuki theater have to have a very rich spatial form and stage equipment, like this. On the other hand, as a moment essential element of Kabuki theater, we know Sajiki seating. Sajiki seating is a kind of box seating like this. This picture is also one of the oldest picture at the time, early 17th century. As you see in this picture in early 17th century, the audience is seated on straw mats placed on the ground surrounding the stage. But you see here some box seating on the both sides. This side and the opposite side is here. But in this picture, you can see only one side. They look like upper class people, noble or samurai. Therefore, it is believed that the pray hut with Sajiki box were built from an early period and no Sajiki in front of the stage. This is very important. There is a box only both sides, left side, right side, and left side, and not in front of the stage. This is a yagura scaffolding is a place for the god. Therefore, it is believed that prayer hut. So, and the high position in front of the stage must be open to God as a special space. This is also a proof that these performing arts were delivered from Festival of God. Here, I want to explain between the ritual and theaters. One of the most favorite festival or Shinto ritual for me is Omatri. This is a picture of very old one, and this is a night, so there is nothing to see. It begins at the midnight on December 17th and is over at the next midnight on December 18th every year. It continues without break from 1133. So it is 885 years old festival. This is amazing, I think. They go to the temple to invite a god and lead to the temporary small temple in the darkness. Then they offer various foods, drinks, music, and dance to the god at the night. You see here, this is around 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock in the night. These music and dance are strongly influenced by continent. All Shinto ritual, music and dance are dedicated to the god. We can see on the side, not in front. This today we can see from front side. But main seating is here and here, both sides. This is one of the basic spacing structure of traditional performing arts in Japan. Today, there is some artificial lighting, but originally they used to play only with 4-corner torchlight. You see here, this is nowadays LED lighting, but originally this is torchlight here, and here is also one more here, and then just only 4 corners. There are no problem if we can see the dance or not, because for the god. At 11 p.m. on next day, they send the god to his shrine again and finish 24 hours ritual. From this process, I learned that the origin of theater is being there rather than seeing it. I don't know whether you are interested in the historic religion, a religious festival or not, but if you haven't experienced yet, please try it to go. This is the next day performance around 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock, and continue to 11 o'clock, around 11 o'clock until the night, and then go to the his temple again. This is in the darkness. And I showed the Kabuki theater from the beginning and until Edo period. Kabuki theater was born from the no stage and has been developed. No, and Kabuki a totally different direction. You see the no stage form is stage is here and hashigakari like this in this angle. So this is very similar to the beginning of Kabuki theater and no theater. But when looking at the bridge form passageway in both stage, this passageway, both stage, we understand that viewing from the side to performance to consistently, and it takes a time to change, not so quickly. So not to need to rush. This picture shows Nakamuraza in Edo period in 1745. A big column in the center, in the auditorium center here, explain that they had a technical problem to build indoor theater in the beginning. But Hanamichi, this is Hanamichi, or this one too, Hanamichi worked effectively to give joy for everyone. It is clear, however, that theater is a great difference between the Kabuki theater in the past and today. This is, I show you the past Edo period and now Kabuki theater, Kabukiza in Tokyo. This is the newer Kabuki theater. Provide this example of how the origin of Kabuki differ from today's Kabuki theater. The Hanamichi was still temporary in late 17th century, and like this, but was used for presentation. And almost the same time, the theater moved indoor. As you see here, this is this is outdoor. These two age, but when they have Hanamichi, the theater itself covered by roof, because there are many certain reasons, but today I cannot explain because the time is not so much. And then I want to move over to the European theater. What you usually take for granted, what we think architecture will be built in a way that fit our lives and activities. That is not always the case, that there is a gap. By being aware of these points, it is important to explore the essential way or place. We learn the starting point of the Western theater is a Greek theater, left side here. Its space is the illustration shown here, the left. The Roman theater looks like the right. However, the theater actually performed by Aeschylus, Sophocles, and Euripides, who are considered to the three big poets of Greek theater, were not in this form. The space they played, we guess, like this form, in this form. The space they played was not a geometrically arranged theater, but rather a more rustic space here. This need to be remembered. You also need to know that the theater was a place of unity with a temple in a Greek period. So if you, in this drawing, from the architecture history, there is only theater, but Greek theater very close to the god. If you see here, this is a temple, and this is an auditorium, and this is a stage. This is always this angle, and so 19-degree angle. This temple of Dionysus always located here. This is also here. On the other hand, the Renaissance is talked on the birth of opera and on Shakespeare theater. In contrast, there was no theater architecture in medieval Europe. Therefore, it has been talked as an image of Dark Age. Certainly, under Christianity, their theater activity were restricted, but the theater itself was not lost, and it continued to change its appearance. Changed its appearance. You can see that in this figure, when you change your perspective in this way, you will see that you haven't noticed before come to light. This is one of medieval theater space, passion play. The Christianity explored by such a drama performance, and this is more popular theater in local. This is a picture from Peter Barton in 16th century. So this theater form influenced to Italian commedia dell'arte, and these things influenced to contemporary theater, especially the 1960s, 1970s modern theater movement. And then I want to show this slide. Here are two examples of successes in UK, and one example of failure in Japan. First example, this one, two theater in London, Olivier Theatre at Barbican Theatre and Barbican Theatre. Barbican Theatre, right side, project started earlier than Olivier, but Barbican Theatre was completed a little bit later. Both are playhouse but they are so different. Making this difference consciously is a theater culture, I think. This diversity is culture. This is what we aim for. So this diagram shows very interesting. This is section and this is a plan. And this line is Barbican Theater, and this line is Olivier Theater. So Barbican Theater was designed distance from the stage. All seat covered in this distance. So, but very close to the stage, but very high here. And Barbican Theater was smaller than Olivier Theater. Olivier Theater is similar than Greek theater. And then one more example. And next example of a failure in Japan is this. More than 10 years ago, at the competition of multiple theater, we choose a very attractive proposal designed by Riken Yamamoto. However, it was so difficult from what it used to be, so different from what it used to be. So the competition was sliced with addition of very famous playwrights. He said that the creativity in the theater existed only in the stage, and that the architecture should be ordinary and good enough to disappear. It became the theme of the major election, and the candidate who called this idea a defective theater was elected. So this theater was canceled. I was so surprised that art, which should be creative, ignored the creative aspect of architecture. Yeah, such theater person or mayor like them ruin the theater space and architecture. In a sense, Japanese multiple hall made the goal of modern rationality. So to speak, it is standardization. We are asking always in design process by theater people, is this ease of use? But we should ask them, what kind of theater, what kind of drama do you produce? Is it easy way to understand? It is very pity for us, for me. This is a plan in section, and this is a model of inside. And this year is open. This another fall in the city. Famous British theatre director Peter Brook described it as an empty space. But of course, it did not mean space without individuality. As it can be read from his discourse that is a space that can only be found there, a space that stimulates theater. I think theater is an important secret to think. I think there is an important secret to thinking about the theater architecture. This is a very famous theater in Paris, Bouffe du Nord, Theater Bouffe du Nord. Peter Brook said nothing, this word. And as you see here, this is very charming theater place. And next one, this photo is a scene of Waiting for God, 14 Godot, written by Samuel Beckett in an old wooden auditorium of school. A stage was located in the center and of auditorium, like a street, and the audience were on both sides, this side and this corner. There were no special scenery, no stage machinery, just simple lighting. This is a Brook's aim. Theater is born in response to the space and the audience. This is another example named Yokohama Boat Theater. This is a theater, boat theater. You can go in from this bridge. This boat is a barge for freight transport originally, and an artistic director has turned this into a theater. There are no special equipment or facility, but it is a theater that makes it fun to go. Even if it looks like nothing, the characteristic space is interesting. It is this is inside of this is a photo of performance. Now they cannot play here, unfortunately. And I was performed a kabuki play at the Theater Cocoon that remained me this afresh. This one, Kabuki Theater in Theater Cocoon. Designing of theater was the first project I was involved in after returning from Germany. This is a big sketch of at the beginning, left side here. And designing of this theater was the first project I was involved in after returning from Germany. And Theater Cocoon is a professional theater located in a complex culture center, run by department store, and usually presented modern plays. I hope to have the theater provide an acting space as a whole, like this, including the auditorium. My hope was realized by the performance of a kabuki play 5 years after the opening. This picture shows a scene usually performed on Hanamichi. Hanamichi is acting runway located in the auditorium, whose level is set the same as the stage in a conventional kabuki theater. However, if you saw a leading actor being carried on the shaky ladder, and they running through the stepped aisle in the auditorium, you would feel as if you were being an actor getting sleep and enter the world of the play. This is a moment when acting is spreading throughout the auditorium. This effect was produced precisely because the theater lacked the common sense of kabuki. It was precisely because half of the audience seats was removable, and the actor could thread their way through the audience. This made the acting area wider. Let me introduce another case in this theater. There are two performances in this theater. One is on stage here. Normally, here is a stage, and here is an auditorium. But in this case, there is a one theater and one more theater here in the auditorium, where different works were performed on the different days. Building a temporary audience seat on the stage and temporarily setting up a stage in the auditorium both takes time and work. However, it tells us the theater is born by interacting with the space. If the space itself does not have such power, that dialogue will not be born. Actually, one of the things I regard most important when I was designing the theater was how easily, this is one more example, and this one picture, how easily the theater could be disassembled. This is a picture from the stage side. They disassembled the stage floor and to build from the understage to build a decoration like this. This one is another example. This is on the stage. Normally, the stage level is here, but in this performance, they built decoration stage set from this level, and this is also a part of acting area. This is from the auditorium view. This is another picture in the Deutsche Oper Berlin. Opera production named Orfeo and Eurydice. These decorations set from this level, 3 meters lower than normal stage level, and this is elevator lift, stage lift. On stage lift, they built a so-called podest, and this is fixed stage here. And then if they moved stage lift up and down, this part moved up and down. And so the scenery very flexible change. And what this is a Taichung theater. An important item in theater planning is a loading space. In a large-scale performance, more than 10 large trucks carrier in work. Therefore, it is common sense to place the stage as a ground level in consideration of the accessibility of large truck. Placing the stage on the basement or upstairs, except at the ground level, is very risky in the competition. This is a section of Taichung Opera House, National Theater in Taichung. And this is a perspective drawing at that time. And this is a site plan. But think about it. Whose money to build the theater? What is it for? The theater is a facility for performing arts, but it is not just for people who create it and its lovers. As a place to create performing arts, it must be specialized facility equipped with advanced technology and equipment, but that's not enough. It is also a facility for all people in the city. Therefore, it should be a community center that anyone can easily visit and enjoy. And it should be like a square open to all. The Taichung Opera is one of the theater planned in such way. This place was originally a large open field with nothing. It is a place when they stopped by for a walk or when they had an event, they build temporary tent or something there. And when it is over, then return to the original place as if nothing had happened. Therefore, the building coverage ratio was restricted. The request from the city was to have 3 different sides of theater, as well as the various rehearsal rooms and possibly to have shops, restaurant, and exhibition space, and etc. Toyo Ito had an idea emphasizing staging and an open structure which actively engaged its surrounding in all directions and create opportunity for various encounter between interior and exterior, architecture and city. He called this space the sound cave. So this is his first study for the imaging grid. This spatial complexity is based on a few simple geometric rules. To fulfill the requirement of this project, he proposed a system called the imaging grid, not emergency, or generative grid. We are lucky to accept this concept from the jury of competition in Taiwan. I think that it is not possible to accept in Japan. Many of theater people in our country might reject this proposal. It was very hard to realize in financial and technical reason. Structure itself very complicated and very hard to build in a way. From functional point of view, it is easy to point out that this loading system takes a time and need to a lot of cost. As you see here, because the loading space underneath of ground floor, and the 2 large stage are on the 2nd floor. So there are almost 14 meters. This is a ground level is here, and this is loading level here. And stage level is 40 meter higher than loading level. This distance 40 meter. As you see in this drawing, you see there is a very continuously to open to the city. This is the first drawing in the completion time, so this is a little bit different from now. Now is like this. It's our view, but this is a up, down, low, this is a Grand Theater, Opera House. And this is a test by structural test structural how to build it. We tried to this one in Tokyo, not Tokyo, in Japan, and then go to Taiwan. And in Taiwan we built two type of structure in the site. This is very hard to build, but lucky we are finished. And this is after the premiere of the dance performance in a playhouse. You see here the people are going to the stage and take a picture with a dancer together. There is no limited to the auditorium audience and to the stage or performer. So it's good atmosphere, I think. And this is a roof. Many people come to this building not to go to the theater, but also to take a walk, have a walk, or to go to shop, or to take a lunch or coffee. But before that, Toyo Ito have an idea. In fact, this idea was conceived at the Ghent Forum competition. Unfortunately, we lost. The space of winner has bowling and functionally satisfied with a judge's requirement, but not future oriented. This is the first sketch of Toyo Ito. This is come from the small space in the city in Spain or Portugal. I don't know no more. But when he was in Portugal or Spain, he heard a song in such small plaza, and this remained to him. And from this, he developed his idea. This site is very interesting for us. This is a canal, and this is old circus building here. Only approach is only here. A pedestrian come from here or here, but car access only from this side. And this is a winner's proposal, winner's theater design. Next, I want to talk about invisible to transparency. This is a Almere Kunstlinie in the Netherlands, designed by Sana. This was also time-consuming project, but it was completed with a strong support by good project manager. Here, Sana purchased transparency and labyrinths. The site was out into the sea, so that they were fascinate the place. They didn't want to lose it by closing from surrounding scape. Another big reason is that the theater is a place where people meet. The facility of the newly relocated people's community core. In this floor plan, you don't know where is the inside and where is the outside. This is because they dare to draw. It is so that you don't understand it. It is like a puzzle. Inside and outside, it is clearly closed at one time, continuous at another time, and connect from the inside to inside through the outside and another time. By doing so, the outline is ambiguous, and it is an attempt to bring out natural communication. You see here, this is main entrance, and all surrounding is the sea. When we was first time there, this site was just sea. There is no ground, and we asked where is the site, building site, and and they says wherever you want. So this is a site we built here. And this is the main building, main theater and small theater. And the other is so-called community facilities for music or dance or studio. And here is a small studio theater again. And this is an information corner. And this is the entrance here. And this is a one corner. This is a courtyard here. So this picture is open. Just a moment. As you see here, this is one rehearsing rooms, lessons rooms for music, covered by window. Over there is a courtyard, and over courtyard, there is also again rehearsal rooms or a studio. And this is a entrance foyer up there, and this is a model, and this auditorium. Yes, here. This picture is opening performance, and this was one. The stage is set up in a picture in the parterre, and the audience is arranged to surround it. I took this picture from temporary sitting on stage. Her Majesty family were also sitting in front of our seat. And next I want to talk about back and front. As a theater has a large volume stage and back space, the expression on the front and back of the building tend to be clear. The stage side has therefore large wall and tend to be close to the surrounding. However, Almera, as we see before, Almera Theater successfully solved this problem by placing a small room and courtyard around it, as we see before here. This is very huge volume, as we see here, but another this part is very, very low, almost 1 floor level. Such attempts were, of course, there in the past. Miss van der Rohe was challenging this in the National Theatre Mannheim competition in 1953. Almost the same time, Joran Watson also proposed this challenge in the Sydney Opera House competition in 1954. Both have functional issue, but they are evaluated as a pioneer. Both theater has, this is a Mannheim Theater. In the center, stage area for main auditorium and the small theater. So in the center, stage located in the center of this building, so there is no big walls around to the city. Sydney Opera House also, they covered big roof like this in the center of this part, located in the center of this site. But there are, as I said, some big technical problem in this opera house. But as I say, they are evaluated as a pioneer, I think. I show you one more work by Sana in the same theme. In this building, the front and back of the theater have disappeared. And the entire area has been opened to the public. This is a plan, as you see here. This site is like this L-form site, building site. Here's what I thought about when planning the theater. In the theater, the backspace is clearly separated from the front area according to safety reason, but you can design its borders if you design very carefully to control back and front. And it is useful, especially in a community theater. The challenge here is the front and back of the theater. From a different point of view, is safe versus open. The theater is full of danger. Above the stage, they are equipped with many machinized fibers, and those moved up and down. The stage lift or orchestra lift make a large hole in the stage or auditorium floor. So we should always consider the danger of falling. That's why we need to design it well. It's an easy way to plan how to reduce risk by moving any away from danger, but I thought it would be possible to overcome this challenge in an opposite way for theater in a small city. Since theater in a local city does not have daily performances, can people visit this facility? Even then, there are no performance and use it for other purpose. With that in mind, it is effective use of facility to use the dressing room space for another purpose, such as practice or meetings. Then you can recognition that the dressing room is connecting to the public space, not just a destination space. You see here, this is a stage and auditorium here, and this is dressing rooms here, and and here, and this is small hall for rehearsing and also studio theater. And this is loading base here. And this is studio, and this is office here. Furthermore, we decided to develop the idea into the auditorium. At the competition phase, this is a competition phase drawing. We arranged ordinary seating layout, but in order to create more regularity, we divided the seating in a several blocks in a different level and direction. This brought us difficult seating arrangement to get good view to stage. And this is a study, roof study, so many. And this is a view from stage to the auditorium. However, audience feel more unity of audience. You can also get closer to the stage wherever you are. This means that the auditorium can be used as a performing space. This is the first drawing like this. This is normal rectangular form auditorium, and seating layout is very normal, I think. But the image of the architecture is almost the same, like this. This one, and then new one. Oh no. And this. Okay. And next one. And next one, darkness to light. Light is the soul of the theater. That is electric light and not the natural one. That means darkness is essential to produce light. Indeed, having such closed space must be favorable. However, could it be space all the audience wish to have? So, and this is shows another theater in Wolfsburg in Germany. You see here a big window in the auditorium, and here, this is a big window here. And this is another theater in Germany, nearby Augsburg. And this is a Bundessaal in Berlin, nearby Staatsoper in Berlin, designed by Frank Gehry. Also have windows. The hall in Big Heart Izmo, this one, I designed when I was thinking. So this facility is a community center located in front of the station in provincial city. As this is started between the station, situated between the station and parking lot, pedestrians are expected to go through its passage. This like this one, passage is here, and small theater is here, like this. Most of the wall surface facing the passage are glass, so that even those who are not interested in the culture, events, or arts happen to stop to see the inside. They can see what's going on. walk through the passage and enter the auditorium, and you will find a rather wide space between the side glasses and glass walls. We call this space a foyer. After talking various requests, no space was left for the foyer because the total floor was limited. Then, taking advantage of glass in wall, we made the space on the both sides of the auditorium to transform to a foyer during the intermission. Thus, the auditorium and foyer can be integrated to make one space, like this. And this is open to the window, and this is close to the window. And in this theater, I made a seating tower here and here. This moved from here to here. In the concert, this part come here and make the shoebox from concert hall like this, like this. This is a overall seating tower here. And another example, being quite different from Big Hat Izumo in scale and usage, I'd like to introduce a large hall of grandship, Shizuoka, as an example, possibly adapting natural light. This is a complex facility with various cultural institutions. This is almost public square. The ceiling height is as high as 6 meters from here to up there. And bridge for lighting is arranged at the height of 30 meters. This one bridge is 30 meters, huge. The bridge can turn and store itself in a side wall as necessary. The wall facing the outside, this wall, huge door, and open it reserved continuous space from the outside. This could be used as an open space for a festival or many other events. Oh. And next one, I want to show this one. This one also glass surface concert hall in Nara, named the Nara Centurion Hall. This one was not directly to the outside, but natural light coming down from the top right here and go inside very warm light, as a very warm light here, as you see here. And this is a plan and section. Small glass covered glass hole is here. And this one is multi-use hall. I talk later. And this one is Tsukuba Kapio. I moved to the Matsumoto Performing Arts Center. In this, the color of each wall, side wall, is gradually darked towards the stage from the auditorium and interact but with complete black as a proscenium area. But if you look at the auditorium from the stage, it grows right towards the end of the auditorium. At the farthest area from the stage, it's almost red, like this one. I have only a few time, I think. We have to, how many minutes we have? Can I continue?
Yes,
Yes,
of
please.
course.
Okay.
Yes, please.
I have to rush.
We also have, maybe we have some questions.
Yeah.
Yes.
But for me, it can go forever, but.
Okay. So I show you some slides and then stop the.
Sorry, Professor Kang, do we have time?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Do what you wish.
So okay, I will show you some slide. Like everywhere could be a theater. I experienced this for the first time when I saw the performance of Jokyo Gekicho, referred to the red tent, because they played in a red colored tent, not in a theater building, led by Juro Kara. I was still a university student then. If Juro Kara came across the other desert place, such as a shrine or park in a town, he would rush there by truck and set up a tent there, tent theater, very quickly. The red color of their tent means blood that represented a fight. They were disliked by the most of local government due to their immoral and social contents of the performance. These theatrical activity were worldwide sought in a 60 and 70s. I thought about studying abroad in Germany so that I could actually experience that opera house. At the time, I went to a lecture on German theater, so I got to know Schaubühne, Lenia Schaubühne. So this one, Schaubühne, for the first time when I was shown in this picture. This is it, I thought. The really surprising thing was a space which transformed itself corresponding to each program performed in a renovated theater, attending to the rehearsal process, directed by Peter Stein and Michael Gruber and others. Island theater are completed only by soul and hand, not following the formalities. Based on this experience, I want to make something not a theater, in a theater in the future. I challenged this in Matsumoto Performing Arts Center, which had a big stage. The telescopic seating system is adapting at the rear stage and draw them out to the main stage to make the seat. Disappointingly, however, Mr. Kushida, artistic director and actor, did not intend to use the function that architecture prepared. but the layout is shown in, I will show this one. The layout is shown, the Caucasian chalk circle. Visitors were guided to enter to the stage from the loading space. Acting area will be changed quickly to the foyer, where drinks and snacks are offered during the intermission. I like his attitude. Through the attitude, though, actually he was not displeased with our intention, but just reply with a joke in his unique way. So everyone, including actor and staff, were so delighted at the party after the premiere. And next one, I will to show Nara Century Hall again. Nara Century Hall is still another example. We aim to have a space with a transformability and flexibility, where the focus point is movable according to the events against the unidirectional property of proscenium style. To change the depth of the stage, proscenium moved back to the fourth. This one, proscenium is here, going this way or in this way. With a house curtain attached. 9 lifting floor, this part, 9 lifting floor are installed at the half portion of parquet area, and this portion could be used as a stage or audience seats. 2 tracks with audience seats, this one here, mounted arranged on each balcony on the 2nd floor. And the seat on the 3rd floor are fixed facing front of the stage. From those who are familiar with the ordinary multi-purpose hall, this hall does not receive a good reputation. This inconvenience, however, secures the flexibility and possibility of this particular hall. And without them, the stereotype multi-purpose hall would interrupt it. And you see here, this is a sliding seating track 2-1. Here is stage lift. This part is fixed seat. This is a view from the fixed seat. Finally, I want to show you this one, a Hall of Art University in Kyoto, which is currently under construction. Here will be played classical concert and opera performance. It will able to rent to public too. Our goal here is achieve both a space as a concert hall and a space for opera theater. We have secured relatively wide space behind the audience seat here in the section in front of this corner. Because we could not have enough foyer area like a general cultural facility, and there are a few concerts in several reserved seats. It is planned to be used in a various way, such as standing seat, foyer, and in some case a part of stage. Today I have been thinking about the issue facing the theater design, how to mediate conflicting element, and what kind of design is possible with it. The theater is a place for creativity and a square in a city. It is a place for people interacting and create fun. In other words, it is a place to create a relationship between people. It is an assembly consisting of various functions such as the stage, audiences, rehearsal rooms, practice rooms, etc. But by recognizing the relationship between them, we can also create a new space. You can also learn much essence from the historical theater. I couldn't even talk about today about that today, but please think about it. I'm sure there will be new discoveries. Thank you. This is
Very much.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Amazing.
Yes, amazing.
I cut some slides.
I see. We can go on, right? Yeah. So now the first part is finished. So we have a 5-minute break, and then we start for another hour.
Okay.
Yes.
No.
Okay.
It was great.
Yes.
I have a question, but maybe we should have the student first.
Yes, I think so too.
Anybody have a question? Do you have time for a question? Sorry.
I have time, but very simple question, please.
Very simple. Yes.
I'm not confused.
Short and simple, please.
Yes.
No. Okay.
No. If you have any question, please
Raise
let us know. So raise your hand.
Raise the hand
with emoticon like this, or
I don't know how to do it.
the low line. The
okay,
line.
Okay, I don't have a question.
Oh yeah.
Any question?
Yes, Anujin, do you have a question?
Okay. Firstly, thank you for very great lessons today. And I just have one question. I'm interested in theater that is very close to our everyday life. So I want you to ask, and I'm very curious of your opinion, that is, what do you think of some kind of interaction between theater and some other program about our everyday life, like commercial program or cafe nearby theater, yeah. So I want some kind of, yeah, your opinion about this issue.
Sorry, I cannot good understand how to answer.
So, yeah.
About what theater and daily life?
Yeah, daily life between them. How what kind of interaction, what kind of effects they can give each other.
Oh yeah, it is not so easy to say, but I think the theater, in a theater there are everything is how to say how to say everything is not reality, not real. It's a false. But there is a reality for our life, I think. We saw the theater when we go to the theater. You can easily sitting whenever, whatever on the stage, killing or violence or everything is happening on the stage, but you can relax on your seat, because how to say but there is a farce, but we feel from farce a kind of reality, I think. So the influence from the daily life, I don't know how to say. very
A good question.
question.
I think.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
Sorry, I cannot understand. Understand and how to
But I think but I think you see in some of the work that you showed, like a big heartismo, that actually there is that kind of a question, right? So it's not.
You means how to connect to the daily life? It means
Yes, yes.
I see.
Yes.
So
actually, you answered already, I think, a little in the show.
The
presentation.
It is not so difficult question for me. Because if, for instance, recently we had a competition, and this city was a flood problem, and 1 or 2 meter high from the sea level flood. Sometimes, not every year, but once 10 years or something like that. So we propose a stage level is higher than 2 meter, and ground level made not so important rooms. This is one solution, and in that case, and also the environment. One direction located a park with castle in the Edo period. Now the castle itself was destroyed, but there is a park, green park, and one side is a river. And we designed a big roof from the river side to the park side, big slope with a roof garden, and connect to the stations. Next to the next side is station, new side station, and we connect to the station level on a third floor. So we connect to the different level and different environment to the city. So I don't know. I cannot explain exactly in English. So, but almost that.
Thank you for your answer.
Sorry.
No,
not good answer.
That's great. Yeah. Thank you.
So,
another questions?
I would like to say something, but if there's a student, go first. No. Okay. So should I start?
Yes.
Right. So one day we had a discussion, Professor Motosugi. Yeah. One day we had a discussion about the tsunami, the refugee camps that were built after the village, people from the village affected by the tsunami were destroyed.
Yes.
Right? And I thought that because now we worry I think I worry very much that people in society are being separated, atomized, right? And it's a function of modern society, and also capitalism, and also today with the disease is even stronger, right? Right? But I remember at the time you told me about how people needed theater as a form of more than before, because before they had TV and now they've lost everything, and they needed theater to kind of fight against a depression. I remember that you mentioned about this, and I thought that was an amazing thing that I want you to tell me about. Do you remember this thing that we need theater as a social space?
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Not as a product. It's not a product. It's a social kind of necessity.
Yeah, I think even the people who want to go doesn't want to go to the theater or concert. Such people, but they want to their children go to the theater, or they want to learn music or arts. I think nobody want to go to the how to say in English.
Not everybody.
Not everybody go to the theater, but your child or your grandson go to theater or go to concert or go to museum and to enjoy culture or arts. They delight, I think. If they don't like the arts or music, that is essential our requirement, I think, because from the beginning of our cultural life, from the ancient time, the music or dance is so close to our daily life. If you hear music, or if you see the dance people or singing people, you want something to do with them. Even child, they dancing if they hear music, I think. This is very natural for our life, for our life, I think. So this is very important. When we were facing the difficulty from earthquake or tsunami, the people still enjoy the cultural event by themselves. Of course, very old peoples, they were so disappointed, but young people, especially young people, child or young people, or parents who has a child, they push them by themselves to go to such art life or cultural life with music or with art, I think. I heard such people, I saw so many people that they still active from traditional culture activity, I think.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else? We are almost done, I think. Right?
Just one more question?
Oh,
No?
There's one more question?
No?
I have a student here that is motivated to have a question. Please go.
Hello, thank you for your lecture. I wanted to ask you if you think the future of theater is more like inside the room or within the whole building with all the facilities, the common areas. Is it clear?
I cannot understand exactly. Sorry.
Sorry. Yes. Do you think the most important thing in the theater in the future will be inside the halls, like the concert hall or everything, or will it be in the whole building with every common areas and other facilities around this place?
Of course, all functional of the building is important, I think.
Sorry.
All space in the building
Okay, yeah.
is important, I think. Is it answer?
Yes, because I feel that
because
because
not theater is not only existing stage and auditorium, but also the surrounding area, because theater activities not only on stage or the auditorium, but also the daily activities in the rehearsal rooms or studio, and also the visitors to the theater, familiar to the theater. So the entrance lobby or another function is very important to familiar to the theater for the people, I think. So I show the Taichung Opera House. So this is one good example, I think.
Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yes. I think
Yes.
we are okay. Yeah, we're done. Yeah, it's 7. Yeah.
Yes.
So sorry we start late and stuff, but it was amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Just so honored to hear you. Such a great lecture. Thank you.
Also, it's very early in the semester, so it's so good for us because
Yes,
it's the right moment, because we start to design theaters now.
yes.
Yeah.
Thank you very much also. And sorry to bad poor English.
And only.
So we're done, Professor Kang?
Yes, yes, we are done.
Okay.
Yeah, so thank you very much. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
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 See you.
감사합니다.